enjoy to memorize openings. They do a lot of tactical puzzles, or they even study some games because they want to improve their positional play. This video isn't about that. This video will help you to improve your endgame technique because we will improve the positional play in this area. This concept is very, very important. We will talk about mind squares. So let's jump to our video. But before that, did you know that almost 87% of the viewers isn't subscribed? Why don't you like me? I am a great person and I need you. I need your help because I want to continue producing content for you. My goal is you. I want you to improve. I want you to reach a master level. And to do this, I will continue producing content every day. And if you are enjoying those videos, please subscribe. Push the like button, push the notifications on, and if you want to see something different or something new, you can always put on the comments and I will answer you, okay? So let's go to our video. So about the mind squares, well, the mind squares are squares that you don't want to jump. So the first player to jump to those squares will lose the game. So this is the first example, very easy, very simple. So this will be our reference. So here is why to play. And if I play the, for example, the king to c4 or to a4, I will draw this game. But this game is completely won. So this means that those squares are mind squares. So just to show, if I play this, the king will play to b6. And now the problem is that I'm going to lose the pawn. For example, king here, here, and this game is completely draw. If you want to learn this and you don't know yet, you can see on the videos here on this channel. So, what different ideas? For example, if I play king to c3 and he plays king to b6, of course, this is a mind square, but black is always lost in this case, so it doesn't matter. It's important for white. So after king to c4, now this is completely won for white because, for example, king here, king here, king here, I can just advance. And after king to b7, I can play king to b5. After that, the king, just to show, can play to b8, and I will continue with king to c6. Why not? After king c8, I advance a pawn, and after that, I just need to advance b5. After king to a7, the idea is just to give up the pawn, promoting for something, a rook or a queen. And after king takes, you want to have your king in front of the pawn to win the game. So this is a subject of another video, but well, just to show, because I want you to improve. So this will finish in a checkmate. So very important, the mind squares are squares that you don't want to jump first, or else you're going to lose or draw. On the definition, I have put the Zugzwang, but yeah, the reference is that. So let's go to our first exercise. So we will do 10 different exercises. So this is our example. And okay, here is why to play. And first, we need to see where are the mind squares. So, for example, here, when I look at this exercise, the first thing that I see is that, okay, f5 probably is a problem, and I believe that d4 probably is a problem. Why is that? Because if I play king here, I'm going to lose the game because of, for example, king to d4. After that, I'm going to lose the pawn because my king cannot defend because of the presence of the pawn. So this is lost, just to show it's over because the pawn is advancing in this direction. So the secret is just to not jump to this square. So for example, if I play king to f6, I will be able to win this position. But for example, king to g4 doesn't win because we aren't creating pressure on the pawn. Just to show, king here, I can just play king to c3, and after king to, important because I don't want to play for the mined square. So, and after king, for example, here, well, this is just equal because this isn't available, and after that, now, yeah, this loses, so you don't want to do that. So the idea is just to create pressure on the opponent's pawn. So after king plays to f6, here this game is completely won because now I will try to play king to d4, and we have king f5 protecting the pawn and winning the opponent's pawn. So this is completely won for white. For example, king takes and it's over. The pawn will advance. So very important. You want to see first where exists problems, and to do this you need to evaluate the squares. So here, don't forget, f5 is a problem, so you don't want to jump to this square, and the other problem is on d4. Next position. Of course, we will complicate during this video. So the first exercises are for levels below 1000, and then we will improve for higher ratings, and the two most complicated exercises are for plus than 2500. Okay, I think something like that, 24, 25. So here, this is an easy exercise too, so we want to win this position with white. And, well, first you want to do the move, but thinking about the mined squares. So my suggestion is to win space and think about the mined squares. If you have the ability to think in a creative way, you will see that after e5, now the squares of f5 and d6 will be mined squares. So let's see. After king, we will create always pressure on the opponent's pawn because you want to promote your own pawn. So after, for example, king here, and are you seeing right now? Exist problems on f5 and on d6. If I play this, of course, it's not me to play, but for example, if I play this with black, king d6 will win the pawn. And if black plays this and I play that, it's the same, but on the opposite colors, because I can play this and I'm going to win the pawn. So here, the idea is just to play, not this, but king to d7. And it's the same idea, because now this king needs to jump to the mined square to prevent the loss of the pawn. So king plays to f5, and now you know the idea. King to d6, protecting the pawn and creating pressure on the opponent's pawn. So 2-2 strong, and yeah, this is over. So about a detail here is related to the space. Have you seen that the first move we advance the pawn? This is important because with space normally it's easier to gain advantages. For example, if you played, for example, king to b5, here e5 would draw immediately, because here after king, now this is terrible because black can prevent the loss playing king to e8, because black will be able to remain with the opposition. So, for example, here I can play, for example, king d7, and after king takes, it's not possible to continue with the king in front of the pawn. And after pawn advances, I play this, and this is completely draw. This is completely equal. So, very important, space. It's not related to this subject, but it's important, okay? Next subject. So, here, this is related to mind squares, but here we can find the opposition too. So here you're playing with white, and this is an exercise for you, because my question is this position won or is this draw? What do you think? Can white play for the win? To answer this question, you need to know if you can prevent the loss of the pawn, or if you can take this pawn. Let's see. If I play this, king c2, then king here, just to show, king b3, and king here. Why not? Let's go, let's go. King c4, and king here, king d6. And now, king b5. Oh my god, I jumped into a mind square. Because after king c7 exists king a8, a6, sorry. And okay, this is lost. Because now he will take and I'm lost. So it's very important to calculate with precision in your own games, because this subject, these mind squares, are all very interesting, but you need to calculate pretty well, because if you don't calculate correctly, this is not necessary for you. You need to do good calculations. So, because of this reason, you can't play for the win. So the idea is try to draw the game during opposition. So my suggestion is just to play king d3. After king, here we can play king e3. So this is the lateral opposition. And the idea is just to put this king below the opponent's king. So after king to d3, king, and king, just to show. If king takes, king does the opposition, and this game is already draw, because he won't be able to win. Here, for example, if you're playing with advanced player, he will try to trick you. So after a king, of course, you can do this, and even you can do that, and the game it's always draw, because he will take and you will have the opposition. Very important. If you don't know what is the opposition, I have a video about that, opposition in chess. So very important, because to improve your level in the endgames, you need to know this all. So mind squares, opposition, Philidor, Lucena, Vancouver, these are all important. And to be a master, you need to know this all. So continuing, next position. So the answer is draw. We are playing for the draw. So next position. This is more interesting, because here we are playing with black, sorry, and we need to think about what is the best square for our king. Where will we put this king? And the thing is that you need to evaluate where is the mind square. And the answer is here on g3. So if this king jumps this square, you will be able to win. So let's think, how can we do that? We don't want to put the king on e4, because this is another mind square. Because if, well, but you don't lose because you have another pawn. But, well, if you play here, the game will be draw. The game will not be lost, because after king to g3, you can play king d3 and you're going to lose, but it doesn't matter. It is a mind square, because this game is completely won for black. So you don't want to not win this position. This position is for you. You need to win this position. Imagine you're playing with Magnus Carlsen, Hikaru Nakamura with black, and you can win one of the best players in the world. To do that you need to play with precision. So this is mind, and this is mind too. So because of the fact that I don't want to be the first player to jump to the mind square, I will play king to e5. And the idea is that, for example, after king plays here, I can play right now king to e4, because this king is on a mind square. Why is that? Simple. After this, I will improve my position, and in the end, I will be able to sacrifice the pawn to win this one. So, king to d3, king here, king to e2, and oh my god, this is lost. Oh, but, well, what if the king plays here? It's the same, because we have 2 pawns. I can play here, and after king to g3, I play h4. Goodbye, this game is over. Because after that, I take, and, well, it's completely won. Simple stuff. So this idea is interesting. We have seen this response, but what if king plays always to h3? h3, h2. Well, we will do the same, but we don't want to jump to this square, or else the game will be draw because of this idea. We already seen that. So we will play to d4. Don't forget, this mind is squared. This square is mind. So if he plays this, I'm going to play this. So he will continue playing here, and we will improve our position, creating pressure on the opponent's pawn. So you already know the answer. We are going to play king to d3. Again, king here, king to e2, king here. It's necessary. Now it's the same. Beautiful stuff. To be able to win games like that, it's brilliant. So next position. So this one, it's very easy in my opinion, and this is another exercise for you. I want to know what do you think about this position? Is white to play, and is white won, or is this draw? What do you think about that? Well, first we need to evaluate where are the mind squares. So this is a mine, this is a mine too, and this is a mine too. So, okay, c4, b6, a4 are mines. So let's see. If king jumps here, king here, and I'm going to lose the pawn. And on the other side, if I play here and he plays there, this move wins material. So here I can play king to c3, and my opponents can play, for example, king to b7. And after that, it's not possible to win this game. This game is completely equal, because after king to, of course, don't forget, this loses the game. So after king to d3, I just continue. Of course, this loses the game too. So I'm going to continue with king c7. Because after, for example, king e4 loses, because right now I can take the pawn. So the problem is that I cannot improve my position, and I will be always playing my king to c3 or d3, and my opponents too will be always on the same squares. So the answer is that this game is completely equal. This is draw. So nothing to do. Next position. About this one. This one is very interesting, because here you can win this position. You have 2 pawns against 1, and you need to evaluate where is the mind square. So the mind square is where? Well, the thing is that this king is lateralized. The king is not on the center, and for me, he is already on the mind square. So this king cannot prevent the loss of this game. Because here, for example, first we can do king h4 because we have the opposition. Important concept. And our opponent will need to play something. For example, I think this is the best because I would play this, for example. And now, with triangulation and winning of tempos, we will be able to win this game. So the idea is just to play, for example, king g3, because now this king wants to jump here to take the pawn. So g5 is a mine square if we have our king on the correct place. For example, here. So here, let's see, if this king plays here, we want to play king to g4, because now our king isn't here, but is there. We have one tempo. So after, for example, king g7, again, we can play king f4, and again, king to h6, and we can play here, for example, king to e3. Important, this is a mine, because if we play king to e4, king g5, and we have jumped first to a mine. So the alternative to play king to e3 is much better, because now if the king jumps here, we will be able to win. Let's see. If king plays to g5, king e4, and after king again, we will be able to improve our position, like on the last game we've seen. So, but this move isn't mandatory. So we can see, for example, king to h5. But if king h5, we will continue with king d4, because we don't want to be stuck at the mine. So after this mine, we will be able to win. And if the king plays here, we can improve our position playing king to d5. After that, it's history, because king here, and what would you play? Important. This is a mine, because if I play here, I will be able to win right now. But the most correct, in my opinion, is just to play king to d6. It's pretty, because we are going to attack the pawn. For example, if king here, we already won the pawn. And if king plays here, we can do, for example, this move. I think it's pretty, just to show. It's not necessary, because we have several different ways of winning this position, but I think it's pretty, because king here, mine, bing, bang. So it's completely won for us. Beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. So I have 4 more positions to show you. Of course, these 4 last positions are more complicated, but important. Even if you have rating of 500 or 1000, I think you can be able to solve those exercises. So let's jump to our next exercise. So here, this one, I think it's tricky, but this involves 2 different concepts. Three different concepts. So it's a very good exercise. We have already seen this one on the video about triangulation. So here we have the triangulation, we have mine squares, and we have opposition. So this is very complete, this exercise. So here, let's evaluate the mine squares. Have you seen? Yeah. This is a mine, and this is a mine too. So the first king to jump to one of these squares will lose the game. So just to show, king here, and it's done. Because after that, black will win the pawns. Oh, okay, so I cannot do this, but I can triangulate. So if you don't know what is that, see the movie, the video about triangulation. So continuing, after king to d2, this position is already won for white, because this is a mine. Because now if king goes here, I go there, and if king plays here, I can take. And the thing is that here I'm winning by 1 point. So we will see the other variants, but the idea is just to play king d3, king here, king here, king here, and now you can advance the pawn. Because after pawn takes, king to b3, and I will recover the pawn. And of course, this position is completely won because I have an exterior passed pawn. So I will give up my pawn to win my opponent's pawn. So it's completely won. So very interesting, but it's not necessary to play like that for black. Black can play, for example, king to c6. And after that, king attacks the pawn. And now the problem is that this king cannot protect his pawn. So after king takes, the idea is completely equal because I can advance the pawn. Of course, don't forget that this move doesn't work because you can advance or even you can take. The position is completely won because you will enter from the center and you will take all the pawns. Even you can promote the pawn because the king will be able to control the key squares. We will talk about that on another video too. So very important. So after that, the position is equal and you're completely won. So 3 more positions for you. And this one is more complicated. And this is a position from Dvoretsky's Endgame manual. So this is probably one of the, but probably no. This is the best Endgames book that exists, in my opinion. Dvoretsky's Endgame manual. If you want to solve it, it's very, very complicated, but very important too. So here is white to play. And we need to evaluate where are the mine squares. So let's see. Here, d4 is a mine because of this move. More, f4 is a mine too. And okay, d6 is a mine because if I play this king here, I will win the position. So let's see. If I play king to d3, of course, this move isn't available, or else I will play king here. So what do you think about this position? Is this equal, or can white play for the win? And when I solved that the first time, I've lost something like 2 hours, I think. And I was always thinking about a draw because I haven't evaluated correctly the second position. Because the thing is that after king, of course, this will win. But okay, we can see king f7. And how will we win this position? Because if you play this, you stuck on the mine. And so after this move, this is tricky because, of course, pawn takes, king takes, and this is one for white because it's identical of the last position. We will give up the pawn and we will take the other pawns of our opponents. But the thing is that black can advance this pawn. And because of that, this is complicated, but the position is won for white. And it's beautiful because you need to re-evaluate the position. Because after king plays to e2, most persons will think, okay, king e6, and after king f3, king takes, and oh my god, I'm going to lose this game. But the thing is that you need to re-evaluate everything, because this is a mine now, and this is another mine. So here, white is completely won because of the fact that you can play king to f2. So after king takes, king f3, and you're going to win material, and the resulting position will be completely won because you have one clean pawn of advantage. Of course, here black can try a different thing, but this is easier for black can try a different thing, but this is easier for white because after king f3 we will win the pawn and we have 2 clean points of advantage. So brilliant stuff by Dvoretsky. Very beautiful. So the idea is always to reevaluate and be careful because you don't want to jump to the mind squares. So after that, we reevaluate and this move wins for white. Brilliant stuff. So we have two more positions, and this one has been played on a game, and I don't know the name of the game, but I know this is a practical example. And later, I need to put some material about that, but I want to do a video just about positions that we already studied, and we will identify on the games the positions. So opposition, mind squares, Philidor, Lucena. So the idea is to do a video of exercises just for you. So here we are playing with white, and this position is equal. So here it's kind of easy to draw this game because after bishop check, this happens. Here you can put yourself on the position of the black player and think, what would you do? Would you play king to g6 or king to h4? Well, the answer needs to be just one, because one draws and the other loses. And in the game, the player has made this move and this loses. But let's see first this idea. If king had played on this direction, the game would be completely draw. Because, well, we will advance the pawns, and even if we lose the 2 pawns, we can draw putting our king in this square, because the bishop is a light square bishop, and this is a dark square diagonal in front of a lateral pawn. So this is a fortress. We have already talked about that too. So this is a fortress. But the thing is that the black player has played this move, and now, because of the mind squares, we can win this game with bishop to g4. After pawn advances, king f5, and the thing is that pawn takes, and this king has jumped first to the mine. So this is lost because the pawn will fall and the game will fall too. So very, very pretty. And the thing is that you need to be careful because you want to evaluate everything you do in your own games. And the patterns are very important. Everything is important in a chess game. So last position. This one is very tricky. And to solve this exercise, you need to do the position correctly and evaluate the mind squares too. So here, the first step is try to improve the position. So you're playing with white, and this game is 1 for white. Yes, you're losing by 1 point, but these are details, because this is 1 for white, because of the activity of the white king. So the first move needs to be only one. You just have one way of winning this game. And the answer is king f5. Why is that? Simple. Because you're doing opposition. Because here, this square isn't available to this king. So you won't be losing the opposition. After king here, 1, 2, 3, we can do opposition again. And after king, 1, 2, 3, we can do opposition again. And now we will outflank our opponent. How can we do that? Simple. Playing king to e8. And the thing is that this king doesn't have the capacity to protect his own pawns. He is too weak in this position. Because, for example, king to c7, I can do opposition. And king here, I can do again opposition. This is already lost. And even if he tries a different approach, for example, king to, let's see, here, for example, Well, here we can think about just playing easy with king d8, because after this move, we have king to d7. And after king again to a5, we don't have any alternative. King takes pawn. And, well, this is already lost because, of course, king d6 and the pawn will promote. So this is about mind squares because this king isn't able to prevent the loss of the pawns because of the mines. So as you are seeing in this case, well, the opposition is very, very important. Normally on the endgames, the opposition is very important. So in my opinion, is one concept that you need to know pretty well. You need to know the opposition, the distant one, the diagonal, and you want to do this without any difficulty. So it's important to practice this kind of positions. So with this exercise, we finished our 10 mind squares exercises, and I think you improved a lot from those approaches. So in most of the exercises, we have seen several different concepts. Of course, we have been focused on the mind squares, but we've seen triangulations, opposition, mind squares, activity, outflanking, and these are all endgames concepts that you need to know. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you aren't subscribed, please subscribe. Don't forget, it's very important. And push the like button. And I need ideas. So if you have any idea for me to put here, please tell me, because I want different stuff to talk about, and please tell me something. So in the next days, I will put some content that has been suggested by you. So if you have another ideas, please give me, and I'm going to talk about that. Well, thanks for all the support, and have a great night till tomorrow, because at the same hour we will be here talking about chess. Bye bye till tomorrow.